In a quiet village hidden beneath the hills, a baby girl was born during a moonless night. Her name was Victoria, but the moment she opened her eyes, strange things began to happen. The nurse who first looked at her face gasped and fell to the ground, lifeless. The doctor who came running and saw the baby and also collapsed. Even a kind visitor peeking through the window fainted and never woke up again. It was as if her face had a secret power, one so beautiful it was deadly. Only 2 people survived that night, her mother, Mama Ebel, and her father, Papa Keen. They held her gently, tears running down their cheeks, not just because they loved her, but because they were scared. "What kind of child is this?" whispered Mama Ebel. Papa Keen shook his head. "She's ours. We must protect her." And so, from the moment Victoria entered the world, she was hidden. They built tall curtains in their home. They painted the windows black. No neighbors were allowed in. They even sent the village midwife far away, with money to keep her quiet. Victoria grew up without friends, without visitors, and without sunlight. But she had her parents and books. By the time she was 4, she was reading faster than most adults. She could count faster than the radio man. She could even name all the stars in the sky, though she had never seen them. Still, every night she would cry softly, "Why can't I play with other children? Why can't anyone see me?" Mama Ebel would hold her close. "Because the world is not ready for you yet, my love." But in truth, it was Victoria who wasn't ready for a world that would never understand her. When Victoria turned 18, her parents sat her down. "You are old enough for university," Papa Keen said. "You must go into the world, but you must promise, never remove the cloth from your face." Victoria nodded. She wrapped white cloth over her mouth, her nose, her cheeks. She wore dark glasses to hide her eyes. Only her soft voice could be heard. She looked like a mystery, and people didn't like mysteries. At the university in Lumica City, the students called her names behind her back. Ghost girl, face mask, curse baby. But she ignored them. She studied hard. She came first in every test. Her mind was bright, even if her face stayed hidden. Except for one person who couldn't stop watching her. Bella was the queen of the campus. Her skin shone like the sun. Her voice was loud and sharp. Wherever she walked, people moved aside. She hated Victoria, not because of her cloth, but because Victoria got attention without even showing her face. "Who does she think she is?" Bella would hiss, coming first in every class like she's better than us. But inside Bella burned a strange hunger, not for power but for secrets. "I want to see her face," she told her friends one day. "I want to be the one who unmasks her." So, she made a plan. A cruel one. Bella knew one thing. Boys made girls open their hearts. So she found Joshua, a tall, charming boy with a smooth voice and lazy smile. "Pretend to like her," Bella said. "Make her trust you. Then find a way to remove that cloth." Joshua raised a brow. "That's wicked." Bella laughed. "Then don't do it." Of course he did. He found Victoria near the library one afternoon and said kindly, "You dropped your notebook." "I didn't," Victoria said, her voice quiet. "I know," Joshua smiled, "but I wanted a reason to talk to you." And just like that, he began the lie. Joshua came every day. He never asked about the cloth. He talked about books, music, space, and dreams. He told silly jokes. He even sat beside her during lunch when no one else dared. Victoria felt something strange inside, warmth. Not the fear of being stared at, not the pain of being mocked, but something soft, something called hope. "I've never had a friend," she told him once. "You have one now," he said. And for the first time in her life, Victoria laughed. But she didn't know what he planned. One evening, Joshua invited her to a small dinner on campus. "Just the 2 of us," he smiled, "to celebrate your exam scores." Victoria hesitated. "I don't eat with anyone." "You can wear your cloth," he said quickly. "I just want to talk more." And because she trusted him, she went. She drank the juice he gave her, and her head began to spin. "I feel sleepy," she whispered. Joshua helped her lie down on a soft couch. "It's okay," he said. "Just close your eyes." Then, he slowly removed the cloth from her face. When Victoria woke up, the room was too quiet. Joshua was lying on the floor, his eyes wide open, his mouth frozen in shock. He wasn't breathing. She ran to him. shook him, cried his name, but it was too late. He had seen her face. And now he was dead. She screamed. People came running. The police came. Students gathered like flies. Everyone pointed, shouted, whispered. But Victoria didn't run. She stood still, her face now fully covered again. He took off my cloth while I was asleep, she said. He wasn't supposed to look. The doctors confirmed there was no poison in his drink, no wounds on his body, no sign of sickness. Only one thing was strange. His heart had stopped as if from shock. Only her parents believed her completely, and they came that night, hugging her tightly as she wept in her mother's arms. Later that night, Victoria stood before a mirror. She slowly unwrapped the cloth. For the first time in years, she looked at herself. Her face was perfect, too perfect. Her eyes sparkled like lakes. Her lips were full and shaped like painted dreams. Her skin glowed like golden light. I didn't ask for this, she whispered. But the mirror didn't answer. And neither did the boy who died for looking. After Joshua died, the whole university changed. Students walked past Victoria in silence. Some stared with wide eyes. Others crossed to the other side of the hallway. Nobody laughed. Nobody pointed. They had all seen the police take away Joshua's body. They had all heard the story. And now they were afraid, not just of her face, but of what she might do next. She's a witch, someone whispered. No, she's cursed, said another. No, she's dangerous, said a third. Victoria heard all the words. She felt their fear, and it broke her heart, not because she wanted their love, but because Joshua had truly been her first friend, even if it was fake. She was called to the police station again and again. What happened that night? Did you hurt him? Did you plan this? Each time she answered the same way. He removed the cloth while I was sleeping. He saw my face. That is all. Doctors checked her eyes. Scientists took her picture, but the moment anyone looked closely at the photo, they fainted. Finally, a smart woman said, her face should be marked as a level 5 visual hazard. From that day, even her ID card showed only a black square. At home, Victoria refused to eat. She stayed in bed. She didn't go to class. She cried without sound for days. I was foolish, she said. I trusted him. Mama Ebel sat by her bed and touched her hand gently. That means your heart is still human. But he died. Yes, Mama said. He betrayed you. But you didn't kill him on purpose. I should stay hidden forever. No, Mama said. Your face is dangerous, but your heart is not, and your voice is stronger than you know. Victoria shook her head. No one will ever believe me again. Mama looked at her long and hard. Then make them listen. But while Victoria was hurting, Bella was smiling. She stood at the back of the crowd during Joshua's funeral. She didn't cry. She didn't speak. But her heart danced with secret joy. She was telling the truth, Bella said to herself. Her face really is deadly. But instead of fear, Bella felt something else. Jealousy. How can a girl kill with beauty? She growled. And slowly, Bella started a new plan. One day, Victoria finally returned to school. She walked through the gates with her white cloth, her books, and her silence. No one greeted her. No one laughed. But no one dared to bully her, except one person. Bella. Well, look who decided to show her deadly face again, she said loudly. Students stopped to listen. Did you come back to kill someone else? Bella asked. Victoria kept walking. But Bella followed. What's the matter? Peck out your cursed tongue. Victoria said nothing. Or maybe you're hiding your face because even you can't stand it. Then Bella stepped in front of her. Why don't you take it off and let's see who else drops dead? Victoria paused. Slowly she turned her head, and then, for the first time, she spoke back. I cover my face because I care about life, Victoria said, her voice calm. But you speak like someone who wants to kill with words. Bella blinked. The students gasped. Victoria kept walking. You're jealous, not of my face, but of my mind. Because I never needed beauty to shine. Bella's eyes widened. Victoria turned around once more. You wear makeup every morning. But it can't hide the hatred in your heart. Bella raised her hand to slap her, but Victoria didn't flinch. And Bella froze. Something had changed. This girl wasn't scared anymore. Word spread fast. Did you hear what she told Bella? She didn't cry. She didn't beg. She answered with power. Maybe she's not a witch after all. Little by little, students began to greet her again. Softly at first, then more freely. Some still feared her, but others started to ask her questions in class. Some sat next to her during lectures. One girl even said, "You're brave." Victoria smiled just a little. She didn't trust anyone yet, but she had found something new, her voice. Bella didn't understand. The more she mocked Victoria, the more people liked her. "How is this happening?" she shouted at her mirror. Her friends stopped following her. Boys stopped texting her. Even her best friend Tolu told her, "You went too far." Bella's charm was fading, and she didn't know how to fix it. Until one morning, a new student walked into class. His name was Dennis, and he had kind eyes. Dennis was from another state. He had a quiet voice, a soft laugh, and a mind that saw beyond looks. He sat beside Victoria in class, not because of pity, not because of curiosity, but because he liked her answers during lessons. He liked the way she solved problems, how she listened, how she spoke when others didn't. "Can I sit here?" he asked her one day. Victoria looked up, cautious. "Yes," she said simply. Bella watched from the back of the class, biting her nails. And inside her chest, a new fire burned. Bella wore her best clothes the next day. She brushed her hair, painted her lips, and walked toward Dennis with her fake laugh. "Hey there, new boy," she purred. "You're cute." Dennis blinked. "Oh, thanks. You want to hang out later?" Dennis shrugged politely. "I'm okay. I already made a friend." Bella blinked. "Who?" He pointed at Victoria. Bella's face dropped like stone. Dennis and Victoria sat under a mango tree during lunch. He didn't ask about the cloth. He didn't ask about Joshua. He just shared stories about growing up in the north, how he once tried to cook and nearly burned his kitchen, how he loved riddles and hated mosquitoes. Victoria smiled. Then she laughed. And it felt so light, like a kite dancing in the sky after years of being stuck in a tree. "I like talking to you," Dennis said. "Even though I look like a ghost," she joked. He shrugged. "You sound like a friend." She looked at him. "You're strange." "So are you," he smiled. And the wind blew gently between them. As days passed, Dennis began to walk with Victoria. He helped her carry her books. He shared his favorite music. He even stood beside her when Bella shouted again during class, saying, "Don't talk to her. She's cursed." Dennis turned to Bella and said, "Then maybe the curse protects her from people like you." Everyone laughed. Bella stormed out. But Victoria didn't laugh. She looked at Dennis, wondering, could someone truly care about her without seeing her face? Her heart beat faster. One evening, as the sky turned purple and the birds flew home, Dennis and Victoria sat under the mango tree again. "Can I tell you something strange?" Dennis asked. "Only if it's not too strange," she said, smiling. "I think I like you," he said. Victoria blinked. "You don't know what I look like," she said quietly. "I know how you think. I know how you speak. I know your silence. And that's enough." Victoria's heart fluttered. Her hands trembled. For a moment, she felt like running. But instead, she whispered, "I think I like you too." They sat in silence. And for the first time in her life, Victoria felt peace. Victoria dreamed she was in the forest. Alone. Trees whispered her name. The wind tugged at her cloth. The moonlight touched her cheeks like fingers. She looked into a river and saw her face. It was glowing. Not with beauty, but with truth. A voice spoke from the trees. It sounded like her mother. "Love that is real," it said, "doesn't need eyes to see." She woke up with her heart pounding. She didn't know what it meant, but she felt something was about to change. The days with Dennis were soft, like water flowing over smooth stones. He never pushed. He never pried. He just stayed. One day, he brought her a mango he had peeled himself. Another day, he gave her a tiny notebook and said, "For the thoughts you don't say out loud." Victoria began to write in it every night. She wrote about her fear. She wrote about the night Joshua died. She wrote about the way Dennis smiled at her without flinching, even when the rest of the world held its breath. She wrote about love, strange, slow, warm love. Bella couldn't take it anymore. The quiet laughter under the mango tree. The way Dennis looked at Victoria, as if her cloth was a crown. So one morning, Bella stood in front of the class and shouted, Enough. Everyone turned. This is madness, she screamed. How can you all forget what she is? She killed someone. Victoria stood up slowly. No, she said. I didn't kill him. My face did. Gasps again. Then Dennis stood too. She didn't ask to be born this way. But you, Bella, you choose to be cruel every single day. Bella's mouth opened, then closed. For the first time, she had no words. Later that week, something small but strange happened. Victoria and Dennis were walking through the school garden when a strong wind blew through the trees. Her white cloth, which had been tied tightly, came loose, just for a second. It fluttered to the ground like a falling petal. Victoria gasped. Her hands flew to her face. Dennis turned. Their eyes met. His mouth dropped open. But he didn't fall. He didn't faint. He didn't die. He just stared, softly, gently, like someone looking at a sunrise. Victoria, he whispered, you're real. Tears rolled down her cheeks. You didn't die, she said. Maybe love breaks the curse, he said, voice shaking. They stood there, frozen in the garden, under the golden leaves. And for the first time in her life, Victoria let herself be seen. That evening, she ran home with her cloth still in her hand. Mama! Papa! They rushed to the door. I showed someone my face, she said, breathless. He didn't die. Her mother dropped the cooking spoon. Her father's mouth trembled. Are you sure? Yes. He looked at me and lived. Mama Abel held her face with both hands and began to cry, deep, shaking cries that soaked the floor. Victoria knelt and hugged her. We're free, Mama whispered. After all these years, my child is free. Papa Keen didn't speak. He just placed his palm on Victoria's head and said, Thank you, gods. Thank you. The next morning, Victoria walked into the university without her cloth. Her skin was smooth like the sky after rain. Her lips were bare. Her eyes sparkled. Every step she took made heads turn. Some people gasped. Some stared. Some covered their mouths in awe. But no one died. The curse was truly gone. And when she passed Bella, the proud girl froze. Victoria didn't say a word. She didn't need to. After class, Victoria and Dennis sat under their mango tree again. He looked at her face, not with hunger, not with fear, not with surprise, but with peace. You're not what I imagined, he said. Better or worse? She asked, teasing. More real, he answered. She laughed. That's the best thing anyone's ever said to me. They sat in silence for a long time. Birds chirped. Leaves danced in the wind. Then Victoria said, I don't want to become famous. I don't want to tell my story on a stage. I just want to live. Dennis nodded. With me. She nodded. With you. Victoria didn't open a foundation. She didn't write a book. She didn't give speeches. She moved into a small, quiet house near the university. She started a garden. She grew tomatoes and yam and hibiscus flowers. She made tea every morning. She called her mother every night. She married Dennis under the mango tree. No crowd, just a few friends and 2 rings made of carved wood. She still kept the white cloth in a box, not out of fear, but as a reminder of who she once was. And sometimes, when the wind blew just right, she would open the box, touch the cloth, and smile. Because now, she no longer needed it. Not to hide, not to protect, not to survive. She had found something stronger than fear. In the end, it wasn't beauty that saved Victoria. It wasn't power. It wasn't revenge. It was something much quieter and harder to earn. Love that waited. Love that listened. Love that saw everything. Even what was hidden and stayed. And in that love, Victoria finally saw herself. Not as a curse. Not as a ghost. But as a girl who had always been more than a face. If you have not subscribed to my channel, you might not hear my voice again. But if you are, then you are growing every day. Check my page for more interesting stories. Thanks for watching.